Hi, it's Malcolm from Aquaspray, back in the shed with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to fix the Dirtkiller nozzle, and that goes for whether it's the long one or the short one. The ends are exactly the same. Even the bigger ones, the what are they called? The turbo killers, very similar, just a little bit bigger. So this is what you need to do. One piece of advice that I always give people is there is a moving part in there. Gravity, when it's held like that and you pull the trigger, the nozzle at the end fires up into the seat. So I would always advise people to gravity so it's down onto the seat, pull the trigger, and then you can move it anywhere. So always start it below the horizon if you can. That would be make it last a little bit longer. Also, when you finish with it, these are really up close and personal to dirt, especially if you're doing block paving and the sand's spraying up at it and it gets a really dirty job. Inside this tip here you can get dirt and grit and sand and all the rest of it, so you need to really clean it out every time you use it. Or at least rinse it out and see if you can do it. If you're not going to be using it for a long period of time, it's always good to spray a little bit of WD-40 into the nozzle, and just make sure that you can hear the parts moving and it looks clean in the end. So without further ado, let's set the camera up, get it on the bench. Hopefully that's it. Like I say, it doesn't matter whether it's the long one or the short one. For the benefit of putting it on the bench so you can see it, I'm going to be doing the short one, easy enough. So the first thing you want to try is to get this coloured area, pink, yellow, whichever one it is, away from the black area, very similar to the Variolance if you've watched that video. Now you can put a screwdriver in and prise it all the way around until it pops off. But mostly if you give it a good grip and a turn, you can pop it off. There's nothing in this plastic housing. It's just to cover it, and that is to cover the back end of it. So keep hold of them. This is where you need to unscrew this. A really annoying noise. I don't know whether you can hear that, but anyway, what you need to do is you need to unscrew this big nut, brass nut, from this housing. Sometimes they are Loctited in. If you've got a vise, you can gently crimp this or hold this while getting a spanner on to unscrew it, or you can clamp that in a vise and put pump pliers to unscrew it. If you've not got it, I always use sort of pump pliers and an adjustable spanner, and this is the best way to do it. You want to try and avoid marking the brass. I have marked it a little bit, but it is smooth, so it's not too bad. So what you would do is you would start pump pliers that way and hold on to it, and then you really want to turn it round so that you can put some pressure on this so it won't turn. Put your spanner on and then force it down until it unscrews. Shouldn't be really that tight. Sometimes they put a little bit of Loctite on there, but it does seal around that O-ring. So if the O-ring is gone, you will need to replace it. You'll need to make sure inside here and this nozzle that you can see all the way through it and there's no grit in there. You should be able to see straight through. If there is any grit, you need to wash that out. Make sure it's completely clear. This is where the magic happens. So this housing, tip it out, that is your nozzle. So inside the main brass housing, right at the bottom, there's a ceramic seat. So you need to make sure that that is completely clear and clean, and make sure that it's not cracked or broken at all. You can't get a lot in if you have a little spiky tool, you should be able to just feel the ceramic and see if there's any cracks or anything in there, or if you've got good enough eyes, which I do not have at the moment without glasses. You just got to make sure that ceramic seat's okay and inside here is fully clean. This is the main nozzle. Again, you should be able to see all the way through this tiny hole, and if you run your nail round the actual end of the thing, you should be able to feel any cracks. If there's any cracks, you will have to replace it. Same with if there's any cracks in here, you have to replace it. It's not worth separating this, although you can pull these apart. You just got to make sure that you can see all the way through. That's all clear and clean. Once it's all done, all you need to do is reassemble it. So avoid dropping it in. Put it in at the side, push it in with your finger down to the end, and then turn it up. And then you don't have to set it up, you just have to make sure that it's fully free. Then you can screw that in, and then just do the reverse of what you've just done by tightening it up. It doesn't have to be over tight. Just needs to be nipped up on that O-ring so it doesn't leak. If you use the gun and it starts leaking out of the back end, it's not tight enough or the O-ring's trapped. Just got to make sure that you can hear the bits moving so it's nothing's trapped, and then just push it back on like that. Once that's done, you just need to give it a try. Chances are it'll work. Always try and remember to start it in less than horizontal plane, so you don't want to be starting it up above that way. Always point it down to the floor, start it, and then you'll be able to move it. Once you let go of the trigger, again, make sure the seat's down, start it, and then you can do whatever you need to do. And that goes along with the longer ones as well. Always start it down, and then you can do your fence panels, but don't start it and do the fence panels, because you're forcing that nozzle into the seat. So that's it, done. Hope that video was informative on this one, and I hope that it saves you a bit of money from getting it repaired at a repair shop as well. A lot of people don't realise that, but people like us would charge you at least a tenner to unblock this nozzle if you brought it to us. So I just saved you some money. Give me a like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Oh,